Welcome, lovelies. Welcome back to WeknoLA, where we talk about local news from food to politics. I'm Vaughn here with Albert Reyes, Annabelle Badia, and Tony Romo.
What's going on, guys?
Today I'm going to talk about food. One of my favorite spots is Cha Cha Chile, Korean Mexican mix fusion, Asian fusion. My favorite food there is the chimichanga, and I highly recommend it. The chimichanga is a deep fried burrito cut into 4 pieces, put on the side, all sauteed with some sauce.
And where is this Cha Cha Chile?
Cha Cha Chile is in East LA in Alhambra area. One of them closed down. There's only one left. It looks like a hole in the wall spot. The best thing about Alhambra is free parking everywhere. So park in the street. They got a small parking lot, and the food is great.
The one that they closed down is the one that's remaining. Is that one older than the one that they closed down, or
the one that is still open
there
is the original one that opened in 2009, and it was on the Food Network. A lot of reputation on how big and massive the burritos were and all the Korean packed Asian fusion.
Yeah, I remember going with you, and I like the way that they have a variety of sauce. Just because it's that Mexican Asian fusion. Yes, I do. It's that Mexican Asian fusion, and it gets you that sweet but yet really spicy thing that I really like. I don't know about the chimichangas because I'm not a big cheese fan, so I just got regular beef. I think that's what I got last time.
They also got like some Americanized burgers and Philly cheesesteaks mixed with like kogi type beef marination like you find in Korean barbecue, and they're jalapeno poppers. They're not really spicy, which is good for me because I have a geographical tongue, so I can't really handle the spice. But yeah.
Sucks to be Vaughn.
Hey, I don't remember the pricing. Do you remember the pricing?
It's pretty affordable, no?
Yeah, it's pretty affordable. They have this $10 minimum for card, but if you know the lady, come often, she'll
hook you up.
She'll hook you up.
This guy goes often.
Yeah.
Maybe she was hitting on you.
The whole time.
Yeah.
What about the booze?
The booze, sadly, this location does not have booze. The other one, the other one.
Oh, well, that's cute.
The other one closed down because they couldn't afford the liquor license anymore.
Really?
Not enough people were getting booze there.
Come on,
Yeah,
Vaughn.
not enough people
Keep
were
it
getting
in
booze.
business.
Vaughn was ordering
What?
like orange juice and stuff like that. Like, come
Where's
on,
his
bro.
chocolate milk, guys?
Angry Orchard. Angry Orchard.
I don't like it.
No, it gives me gas.
Yeah.
It's gluten free.
Yeah. So definitely you want to check out Cha Cha Chili's. Like,
It's on Valley in Alhambra.
Hey,
So,
tossing it over to me. All right, guys. So I want to talk a little bit about what the political climate is in here in LA. Recently, we got a visit from Donald Trump in the OC area, West Covina and Anaheim, mostly Orange County areas. But what ties into this is, I mean, everyone is getting hyped up for the election. Everyone's looking forward to, I guess, getting the vote across for their given, chosen political candidate. And right now, Donald Trump is forefronting the Republican Party. We have yet to decide for the other two where they're going to end up. But what I wanted to get into is just do you guys believe if Donald Trump is a good place for him to come, like a place for Southern California? Because he recently visited these two mentioned places, and they always end up in scuffle or like aggressive behavior with other people, with rioters. In West Covina, that day he got his rally and he did give a speech. 17 people ended up being arrested. I mean, is that safe for people in general, or what do you guys feel about?
I think the most important thing that we have to remember is that, yes, he is saying things that cause a reaction and maybe they make us feel hostile. But if you go to his rally and you protest outside, that's one thing. But if you go there and you start throwing things or you get into a scuffle between someone else, that is half on you and half on the other person who you got into the scuffle with, because you cannot control yourself and walk away.
Well,
do I think he should be here? Of course not. I'm Mexican and Black and Japanese.
Well, let me tie into something else.
Keep it pushing, my friend.
Most importantly, in LA, well, the city of Hollywood, they have Donald Trump star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, and a lot of people that the people that work maintaining the Hollywood Walk of Fame are getting upset with people who are defacing the star that's the Donald Trump name. And they're getting upset because they have to keep doing maintenance on the star. And there was a rumor going around saying that the star was supposed to be, taken away or being just removing it from the Hollywood Walk of Fame. But you have to understand that Donald Trump has also been a producer. Mm-hmm. He is in the industry. He is in the industry. He produced the Miss America pageant, and he's known for the hit TV series The Apprentice.
Yeah.
So being that where he is now in this political climate and what he has done in the industry, do you believe that, and this goes for all of you guys, do you believe that the star should be removed, or do you think it should be kept?
No, the star should not be removed.
He did all this prior to
and
whatever his beliefs are now. And people have to understand that he has to come here. He's running for president. He doesn't have a choice. He has to be here. Whether he's welcome or not, it's a separate topic, you know? But people have to understand, yes, his comments might be ignorant, but you going outside these rallies and acting wild like that makes you know better,
That's right.
And I feel like it makes people that are trying to rally for the other party or the other candidates, they make them look bad because they're acting poorly.
It makes everybody, the whole race look bad. We've always had, Hispanic people have always had that. We're always going to be represented. Mm-hmm. We're always going to be represented by that one person that does something idiotic, and it sucks, but that's the way it is. So people really have to take caution.
And unfortunately, our media usually misrepresents us. So since none of us were there, and there are two sides to every story, and it usually falls somewhere in the middle, I would say that to each their own, and we were not there, so I could not give you an account.
I want to piggyback on what you said. I agree with allowing people to protest outside, but disrupting an event, especially one that's organized, I don't agree with that. Even though he's saying stuff that we don't agree with, it doesn't mean you're allowed to shut down their
freedom
event.
of speech.
Yeah, freedom of speech. Like, if you believe in freedom of speech, he has the same right as we do, even though we don't agree with what he's saying.
I personally feel like, in the whole case of the Hollywood Walk of Fame, I feel like they shouldn't remove it, but they shouldn't keep up with it. As the people who are supposed to be maintaining the stars look pretty or attractive to the tourist or anybody like that. I feel like they should just leave that star for right now.
It's gonna keep happening.
Just leave it how it is. The climate is pretty hot right now in terms of political standards. So just leave it, and people are going to keep defacing it. But don't take it away, because, I guess he earned it, because he is in the name of the industry.
And people pay for those stars. Sometimes your fans raise the money and other things. So the star is there, get over it.
That's what the guy said, a star is there for life. Mm-hmm. Star is there for life.
Yeah. And especially, like how he ran the race, he demolished them and got all these media, hundreds of millions of dollars in advertisement. That's a celebrity right there. So I think he deserves it.
So now we're gonna toss it over to Anna.
Oh,
she's got kind of a, I don't know, compelling story. No, I'm totally kidding. It's totally worth listening to. Anna.
Wow. So this is worth listening to.
It is.
So let me give you a little bit of my life. So every day I've been driving, for many years now, down the 110, and on the bridge right before Exposition, there's usually only 3 homeless tents up, shelters that they've made. And I've noticed in the past 2 weeks especially, and I'm sure it's been going on longer than this, that the tents and the shelters that they've made are on both sides and they're all over. And I'm wondering to myself, what's going on? And so I start doing all this research online, and different websites and articles say different things. So one reason that they say that there's so much homelessness right now is that El Nino flooded the LA River, and so everyone who was living in those... What? Yeah, I'm serious.
Is that an actual...
It's an actual...
What?
It's an actual... So,
that makes no sense.
It's
we're
true.
Wait.
I have an article, a link to this below, so just check it out. But they said that this is one of the reasons that homelessness has gone up, because the LA water
people are leaving the riverbanks.
Yes, and they flooded so many areas, and it went into neighborhoods, blah blah blah. And I'm like, okay, fine, I'll go with that a little bit. And then the other one is tiny houses.
I started last May building tiny houses, providing temporary shelter for those that need. I've attempted along the whole way to get all kinds of people and organizations involved, including the city, but they've refused to be involved. Now the city has gone as far as to make an amendment to an ordinance forcing me to remove all the tiny houses from the streets directly while they're giving their speech to the people, saying that they're going to spend a lot more of our tax dollars and help people, but they're really evicting people. I just had to evict an elderly woman whose veteran husband is missing in the city. It's really frustrating that I seem to be the only person actually doing something now to help people, and the city is still claiming that they're helping people when they're really not. They're wiping out camps all across the city.
Say that, you know what, we don't need them to have these tiny houses. These people are, it's a breeding ground for shooting up and prostitution and all this stuff. And I'm like, it's already been like that. Lucky for us, they could put it in their tiny homes and we don't have to see it on a regular basis. And even if that's not true, that they're not just using it for prostitution and doing drugs and everything else, just let them have the tiny homes. It's literally going to clean up the street just a little bit. And if you're thinking NIMBY, not in my backyard, we live in South Central. It's in your backyard. Do you think homeless people are in this area on purpose? No, the government has designated this area to homeless people in Skid Row. Why do you think Skid Row has, you know, all homeless necessities there? It has homeless dental stuff. It has homeless shelters, women, kids, and everything. Everything that a homeless person could possibly need to survive is within
this perimeter.
Exactly, within that perimeter.
Okay, so let me understand. You're saying they should let them be there and keep all their collections of things that they have gotten and just leave them alone? That's what you're saying, essentially?
Okay, so the tiny house, if they have the tiny house, I think so.
Like a tent?
No,
Yeah,
no,
let me ask you
it's
something.
not a tent. It's not a tent.
Okay, so let's
So
say
pull up the
these
tiny house.
people are going to come into the neighborhood.
They already are.
Okay, where is the house going to be plastered on?
It's a mobile little box that is.
Where is it? Is it going to be parked on the sidewalk?
They are parked on the sidewalk.
Okay, so how is
Don't you think that's gonna feed into it instead of solving it?
Yeah.
Like, don't you think it'll?
Okay, with over 30,000 people sleeping on the streets in Los Angeles and a 10 billion plan that has been brought to Los Angeles that's supposedly going to fix it, that has not been funded yet, I don't think that if it hasn't been funded and they said it's going to be solved within a decade and we're going to have no homeless people on the streets within 1 decade with a $10 billion plan that hasn't been funded, what are you doing about the people who are out there now? They're not doing anything.
I don't know.
It's a little complicated because there's so many things to factor in. And
those are the tiny houses.
We'll show you the image.
Yeah, you can see the image on the screen right now.
That's a tiny home.
Tiny home.
We should have gone on one of those for college.
Exactly.
That looks like a shack.
Okay.
I don't know. I just think by giving people these homes, I think it's gonna feed it a little bit more, and it might get a little more out of control. I mean, right now you still see a lot of people down Skid Row. Sucks, you know. But
it's not
I don't think this is a way to solve it.
It's coming even closer and farther. I mean, it's coming even farther from Skid Row. But we want to talk about something a little more controversial, like marijuana.
Well, actually, it's not that controversial. Actually, you know,
legalize it.
A recent poll says more like 53.5% of Californians want to legalize it now, so it's not as controversial. And it's called the Adult Use of Marijuana Act, or AUMA for short. And to me now, it's kind of like a thing because I see people smoking weed so it's so common now. You go to a doctor and say, oh, I can't sleep, and they'll prescribe you the medical card. So it's not hard to get it. What this would essentially do is allow any adult over 21 to be able to purchase marijuana at whatever given time they want. You know, and I think it's good, you know, especially like NPR, I heard over the radio, they were like, oh, you know, by doing this, the hemp plant produces paper, they could do clothes or something like that. So they're actually for it. It's not like people want to go out raving and then smoking pot wherever they want, because this will restrict it. And it will still restrict people that are medically prescribed to use it, so they will restrict the areas where they could smoke. Now, they could smoke in the street. And if this would pass, that would restrict it. You can't go out in public places or even like smokers lounges. You can't smoke weed anymore, even if you have the medical marijuana card. And I think you have to be 1,000 feet from a school in order to eat, smoke, whatever, consume marijuana. And this also allow per person to grow 5 plants at home. You're allowed to grow 5 plants. No more than an ounce should be at your possession at all times, unless, since if you do have 5 plants cultivation, you're more likely to produce more than 1 ounce. So it has to be inside your home. And yeah, that's the essentials. I mean, there's still some discrepancies whether you could smoke. You can't smoke in a car, and carrying it is still unclear whether what's an open container or not. Mm-hmm. So they're still figuring that out. But for me, it looks like most likely this is gonna pass, and I think it's a good thing. What do you guys think?
I think it's a great idea because we've seen how much money it can generate in Colorado and how much money it brings back to the community. The only downside is that, of course, we don't want it to get into corporatist hands.
Yeah. Oh, there's gonna be a restriction for that for the first 5 years. For the first 5 years, big corporations cannot get the licensing for it in order to let
original sellers and stuff get some business.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just imagine
Yay!
And you go to like a high-end marijuana place, or you go to like the cheap-ass one.
No, and it's not like a bunch of stores are just gonna start opening up because it's legalized, because it would be limited to, I think it was 135 stores that sell now in California.
Only the best of the best.
So they're still gonna kind of limit it to see how many they're gonna allow to people to get licensing, and also there will be a 15% sales tax for people that want to buy marijuana.
Wow, 15%.
15%.
That's like a tip.
But what I really wonder about is all those people who went to jail because of marijuana. Like, will that be erased from their record?
They could take it to court. They could appeal it, and it depends on what your offense was, but they could reduce the sentence or kind of eliminate it. So it would be up to the person has to take it to court.
And that would be so good because you know how much we pay in taxes just to jail nonviolent offenders?
It's true.
So
and there's a lot of
let's get some roads fixed. Let's give it to the schools.
Yeah, and they lose a lot.
It's true.
Have you driven down Hooper Street over
Have you driven down Central and Compton?
Oh my god.
Oh, I want to rip my hair out.
Potholes.
So, marijuana, keep your eyes open. Keep your eyes open, sorry.
Keep your mind open, people. This is actually good for you.
Hijo de la chingada. Is that a joint, man? That goddamn looks like a quarter pounder, man.
We'll put the link down on the story to know all the details. Because it's kind of broad and to go over all of it. So just keep your eye out.
Yeah. Oh, but one last thing is weed, I think legalizing is good, but smoking weed while going to work, I'm kind of not for that.
How are you supposed to get by?
I think
people have shitty jobs, bro.
At first I did not know where he was going. I was like, where is he going?
Yeah, it was like...
No.
Like, what if you're like customer service rep and you're just stoned out of your mind?
I know.
It'll be so good for you. Because you're just like, yeah, whatever.
It's like liquid confidence,
No, I'm just
in no
so
way
mad
do
about
we promote drug use.
No, we don't.
Those people who are super high at Popeyes and can't get my order right, frustrate me so much.
I mean,
I just want my Popeyes.
Yeah. I just want my po' boy, damn.
Yeah. And that is WeknoLA. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment below, and follow us on our social media on Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook, and everything else.
All the links are gonna be on this area.
Yeah, all the links to our articles.
They're gonna be right here.
Don't forget to visit our website on WeknoLA.com for further information on the articles.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Thank you.